Hello! Good to have you here on the 18th edition of ZML, aka Zack Miller Live. Appreciate you tuning in. Today I want to talk about being thankful. A topic like this came up during my live announcement of Anomaly a few weeks ago. And we were talking about different ways that you can be the anomaly. And what I think is really important is that so many people are just not thankful. Or they're only thankful every once in a while. And instead of being thankful all the time, thankful just on Thanksgiving. And you've probably seen my post before where I've said, hey, I'm thankful more than just on Thanksgiving. And that's true. I think it's so important that you need to be thankful throughout time. And if you want to stand out, one of the easiest things you can do, and this is really stupid simple. If you want to stand out, if you want to be the anomaly, if you want people to look at you differently, simply just say thank you. It's a ridiculous statement. But how often do you open a door for someone? Or someone opens the door for you and you say thank you and there's no response back, right? Or you are walking by someone and say, hi. And what happens in return? My guess is 60% of the time, nothing. 30% of the time, they probably say hello back. And then like the random 10% of the time, someone's like, blah, blah, blah. So, to be thankful isn't just to say thank you. It's to be in this mindset of how can I be providing value and helping someone at all times. I remember a few years ago for Christmas, it was either Christmas or my birthday, I can't remember. All I wanted was an emergency roadside kit. I didn't want presents. I have whatever I want. And I just felt that it would be so important to, when I saw someone in need, to be able to help them. And it seems like such a simple concept. But, like if I'm at the grocery store, I'll let someone in front of me sometimes. Because I'm like, whatever. Like, you can go in front of me. I don't care. Like, we live these, like, ridiculously busy lives for no reason. And I really mean that. Like, we're so, like, this is the world that we have to live in. It has to be so busy. Like, be in the moment. You have no idea what's going to happen in life, right? We all know that we are going to die at some point. But, like, be thankful in that life. And so if you can help someone, do it. After this, at some point, I'm going to go to the grocery store. And I'm probably going to say thank you to a couple of people. And I'm going to, there's automatic doors there. But if there was a door, I would open it. I went to I go to the gym. When I go to the gym, I open the door for someone. And they're almost like dumbfounded. This is the type of society that we live in now, where you hold the door for someone. And people are like, what? What is this guy doing? I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just doing what my parents taught me to do. But literally, if you're trying to figure out just one simple way to stand out, just one, say thank you. And do nice things for others, because people will literally see it. I remember, and the thing that sucks is after I got this emergency roadside kit, I've only had to be able to help like 5 people because everyone else I just haven't seen a car. But what's crazy is, now, and if you're watching, first of all, thank you for watching. But number 2 is, like, how often have you opened the door for someone? Or, like, sometimes there's the elderly that need help with their bags or getting in the car, and I just stop and I help them. And people, like, look at you like, what in the hell is this guy doing? It boggles my mind that people just don't help people anymore. Like, they're all to themselves. And so it's the same thing like when I'm walking down the street, walking my dog, just walking by myself. Every time I walk by someone, I go, hello, how are you? And actually, I said 60% of the time people don't say something. I think it's more than that. Like, there are so many inconsiderate people that just like don't say anything or like, what am I supposed to say to this person? Well, I'm walking by them. Hey, what's up? How are you? Like, they're shocked. Shocked. Like, these people are humans too. And treat them with respect. I hate marketing days. Right? A marketing day to me is a day that some marketing company is putting on some deal and making some like a lot of money for something. Now, I understand that Thanksgiving isn't a marketing day, but people that are only thankful on Thanksgiving, and there's a lot of them. Think about it. Even now, with Black Friday the next day, are people waiting in line that Thursday night, or some stores are even open now on Thursdays. But it's ridiculous to me that they can be so thankful that day, and then moments later are like, I'm going to be really mean again. I'm going to be aggressive driver and be mad at the world. Guys and gals, let's be more thankful. And so with me, I live this life of trying to help people, whether it's opening a door, whether it's providing value to someone and helping them with something else. Emergency roadside kit, which I'm going to have to use soon. I have this feeling now. I remember this one guy once, he was like, I've been sitting here for an hour and no one helped me. He was in a grocery store parking lot and no one helped him. And I was like, well, I'll help you. And he's like going to a job interview or something. And like, this guy's like in the worst position of his life. And I'm sitting here worrying like, oh, I gotta make sure I run through the grocery store. No, guys, slow down your damn lives. Nothing is that important to get at the grocery store, or, freaking out about the line in a Starbucks or something like that. Like, it's just slow down. And once you start slowing down, what you'll realize is that you're going to be happier. If you start telling people thank you, they'll be like, wow, that's interesting. I haven't heard that word in a while. Like, literally, after every conversation that you have with someone, just say thank you. I mean, it's not a crazy thought. At the end of all my interviews with people, actually in the beginnings too, I'm like, thank you very much for doing this. Because, they're taking time away from me. Or time to do an interview with me. And they're just so grateful. But then you get into this scenario afterwards where you're just walking down the street because you were at a location, and then people are just like, no, I'm not thankful anymore. And so I want to improve that. I want to see people like being excited about life and not being so like judgmental, and help people. Like, people need help. Like, it's not hard to help people. What's 1 minute going to be out of your life that you went and help someone? Being thankful. People say, Zach, why would you do that? I just care about people. I want to see their well-being be okay. Like, it's not a crazy concept. The concept is do good to others the way that you would want to be treated. Imagine if you need that. Right? Imagine if you need that help. I remember I posted something years ago, and it was about homeless people. And I always trying to have a little bit of cash just to give it to them. And people are like, well, you shouldn't give it to the homeless, whatever. I'm like, you know what? If I was ever in that position, I sure as heck would want someone to give me some money. Remember one time I got a gift card from someone who hates giving money to the homeless. And so I found someone that was asking for money, and I gave him that full gift card. Got him. Pam says, she's here again. Thanks for being here, Pam. My favorite fan. And for your information, I always say thank you. And you don't have to read this to everyone. Oh. Pam, that's what I do. I read it to everyone. Nick says he held the door for some old folks, and they're pretty much in shock that I held the door for all of them at the mall. Why is this happening, though, right? Is it that parents are not teaching people well? Is it kids don't care? Is it just people don't... What is it? Like, I don't know why people aren't thankful anymore. I don't know why people are so... Like, I went to the gym this morning, and this guy, I just walked by and I said, hey. And he said, hey back. But he literally looked so in shock that I said something. I mean, I'm walking by, I'm like, hey man. The guy at the desk, his name's Jeffrey. I say, hey Jeff, every day. He's almost there every day. I say there. Trying to have conversations with people. It's not about being an extrovert or like anything like that. It's just like, hey, like these people are basically doing the same thing as you. Say hi. Be thankful. Kenya, thank you. I'm bummed about you, Kenya. Kenya Williams is the coach of a high school team in basketball. They're in the state championship. And unfortunately, they lost. I was really emotionally sad for you, Kenya. I'm not even going to lie. I was like, ugh. Because I know how much that meant to you. And I texted him and I said, hey man, I'm sorry. Actually, the week before they had lost a game too. And I thought that was it. And I was even more mad at that point. I was like, oh my God. But I knew as a coach in my previous life that losing is not fun. And I was in the championship game once myself, or a couple of times, but one time we lost. And I think we were up 4. And I knew going into the week that if we went into this last race not up by 8, we would lose. And we were only up by 4, and we lost by 3. That was tragic. I actually fell to my knees, and I was like, no! That'd be a good image to take for this. No! So why are people not thankful, though? If you're listening, first of all, thank you for listening. But why do you think people are not thankful anymore? Or why are people so not in the moment the way that they need to be? And they're just so scatterbrained somewhere else. Is it because of cell phones? Is it because of social media? Is it because of something? Is it because of their parents? Is it because it's not cool to be thankful anymore? I genuinely want to know. What do you guys think the reason why people are not thankful anymore? And so as I'm putting down topics for ideas for the show, and when we did the live announcement of Anomaly a few weeks ago, I can't remember who said it, and that makes me feel like a real schmuck because I could be thanking her for giving me this topic. But I think she was a school teacher, and she was talking about parents not being thankful, and they never, as a teacher, she never gets thanked. And I said, you know what? Well, change that. Not that she's looking for the thanks, or people should be looking for thanks. But if you're wondering why someone else isn't doing it, maybe you need to kind of rewire their brains to start thinking, hey, maybe I should tell them to be thankful. Or tell them thank you for your help. Or give them sincere, gratitude and stuff like that. Because people aren't really thankful anymore. What percentage of you, of y'all listening, do you think when you say hi to someone walking down the street, they say hi back? When you hold the door for someone, do they say thank you back? Oftentimes I don't think they do either. And I guess it's just because they're in complete shock. I guess Nick's right in that case. People are just in complete shock. Or, it's cool to be rude now. I don't know. It's odd to me. It really is odd. So we're doing this Kickstarter now to get early access to the books and better deals for my book Anomaly. And I'm going through the process of messaging everyone saying, hey, basically, thank you for backing this book or grabbing a copy of this book. I think that's what you should do. When we get new customers, I go, hey, thank you for being here. And another thing that's odd to me, too, is these are simple things that you can do to be the anomaly. They don't cost money. They're not difficult. When someone emails me, I call them back. I email them back. Right? There's all these simple little processes that you need to do. I just realized I forgot to email someone back. So I'm taking notes. Because he's going to be mad at me if I don't. Pam has an interesting thought. I guess she doesn't want me to read these things out loud anymore, so I'm not going to. But I appreciate you giving the feedback. What's interesting? I remember when cell phones came out, and I felt that. So I'm 33, almost 34 at the end of the month. I remember when cell phones came out, and they didn't really have cameras yet. You couldn't do Skype calls or FaceTime yet. But what I thought was interesting is as they evolved, we were getting less and less kind of personal relationships with people. How many times have you been to lunch with someone and they're actually texting you, or they're texting their phones instead of having the conversation with someone? That's ridiculous. So when we wonder like why people are the way they are, I mean, maybe that is it. Maybe it's social media, it's phones, whatever. But I always thought that when they created like FaceTime on your phone and like you could get more access to that, it was actually going to help with interpersonal communication, which I thought was cool. And I thought it was something that was missing for so long, because growing up as a kid, after school every day, if I wasn't playing a sport like in a league, I would go and shoot hoops, throw the football. We didn't really play video games. I would camp on the weekends. So I had a lot of relationships with people. I had a lot of, one-to-one or interpersonal communication with people, like physically, where I could actually see them and hang out with them. And I ask people now, like, what do your kids do after school? And some people actually still do that, which is great. But some people are like, oh, my kids do video games, they stay inside. Like, is it because we're afraid of what's happening outside? I honestly don't know. I know that when I have kids, they're going outside. And they're going to enjoy life. And they're going to do things that are ridiculous, like I did as a kid. Like, when it's really cold out, probably not here in southeastern Virginia, but it's really cold out and the river gets frozen. And then you try and be cool and jump through the river, but really you just fall through the ice. Yeah, stupid stuff like that. Those are the experiences that you'll remember in life and be like, oh, I'm not jumping on that stupid thing anymore. I'm not getting on that ice anymore. Tracy Davis, what's up, man? Great topic and conversation. Appreciate it. What do you think about conversations, Tracy? Are you thankful? Do you say thanks to people? I know when I've had conversations with you, you've always been thankful. But it's just really interesting to me that we live in this high-speed life now. And people want everything. And it's an on-demand opportunity. It's an on-demand experience. I don't think that's bad. But we don't have to not be thankful anymore. I remember I held the door for the mail lady the other day. She was like, oh, thank you, thank you. I'm like, yeah, of course. Or someone with a baby walking in. Can I help you? Groceries in the car. I remember I helped an old man into his car a couple weeks ago. Like, this guy is struggling getting into his car, passenger seat. I guess he's with his daughter. He's probably 85, daughter's 50s. And he can't get into the car. And I just walk by and I see him. And other people walk by him too. And I'm like, can I help you? Guys, like, this is not hard stuff. But if you want to be the anomaly, what are you doing to stand out and be different? If you just do a series of interactions like that, you're going to help a lot of people and they're going to notice you. I mean, that's what Chick-fil-A did, right? When you walk into Chick-fil-A, it's basically the same as a McDonald's. The food is basically the same. I don't want to get into a war about this right now. McDonald's and Chick-fil-A are basically the same thing. But the experience that you get at Chick-fil-A is a lot better. And they respect you. And they care about you. And I'm not saying people at McDonald's don't. But think about the words at McDonald's that you think about. And think about the words at Chick-fil-A that you think about when you're there. They're night and day. But they're basically the same business. So being thankful is important. Be thankful. Tracy says, yeah, it requires that we really see and acknowledge one another. I'm not going to stop saying thank you to all of you being here. I'm not going to stop walking down the street and saying hello to someone. I'm not going to stop being in the grocery store and thanking the person who is at the register, or thanking someone who helped me, or having conversations with people. Those things are not going to stop. I'm not going to stop having this show, and I'm just going to mysteriously be like, you know what? I don't want to be thankful anymore. Because I believe that one of the reasons why I'm happy in life is because I feel the joy in helping other people. And if you're miserable in your life right now, that one little thing by holding the door for someone, walking down the street saying thank you or hello to someone, that could be the simplest of moves to really start getting you to transition into happiness. A guy on an upcoming episode of the 1004 show says that there's a book by some TV anchor. It's called like 10% Better. I'm going to butcher it. The episode is coming up. It's with Brian Helfman of Startup Island. The book is called 10% Happier by Brian something, or I don't know what it is. You guys might have read it. I haven't read it, but the anchor wrote a book called 10% Happier because he was miserable, I guess. You need to check it out. But like, what little things can be done to make your life just a little bit better? And I don't know why more aren't like that. Joel McDonald, hello. Tracy Davis, hello. Kenya, what's going on, man? Really appreciate you guys being here. So how does someone, Tracy, or Pam, or Kenya, Joel, Nick, whoever is watching, the people that I can't see, how does one start to acknowledge one another? How does that even start? Because for me, it's like, if you're waiting for that person to say thank you or hello, it's not going to happen. I remember today, this lady let me by because I was walking faster than her. And I held the door for her. She was like, oh, you can go ahead of me. I was like, thank you. And then we went on. Everything was fine. I said, have a great day. She said, have a great day too. Joel, how's it going, man? Mark Rowan, how's it going? How are your dreams? Mark Rowan, big props to him being one of the first backers of my Kickstarter. So thank you for that. It's about body language and eye contact. So, Kenny, do you actually make eye contact with these folks when you're talking with them? I don't know what I'm doing with this pen. And what kind of body language is it? Is it like just sluggish, like, ugh? Or is it something a little more? I think all these things are so important. And I think that, Mark, what number were you on the backing? I think it's so important to just be thankful, right? Sometimes people buy me lunch or breakfast or dinner, and I'm like, are you sure? Thank you. It's very nice of you. You don't have to do that. And then they give me a reason why, and I'm like, okay, sure. But life is so freaking short. And I don't mean to get like all like ridiculous into this conversation. I'm just saying, like, if you're wondering how to stand out from different people, if you want to know how to be the anomaly, if you want to be happier, maybe like Dan Harris, I think is the guy's name, 10% happier, like just start being thankful on every day, not just Thanksgiving. Because so many people aren't happy. But that is a mindset. I worked in TV news for 3 years, 2 of which were the most miserable of my life. And I probably was that jackass that Kenya's talking about, where they're just negative and not helpful. I don't remember, but I know I'm not like that now. I had to make a conscious effort in my mind, my brain, whatever, and be like, I need to be thankful. I need to help people. And now, like, I wanted to get that emergency roadside kit. Never would have thought that. But it's so powerful to help people and to see someone in distress, to then be able to help them. I remember I probably helped, I don't know, a dozen people now with their cars, with stuff. With either jumping in the snow. I would move their cars. I remember when it snowed here recently. I helped a couple people get out. I literally just stop my Jeep, pull it over, and I try and push people through. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. There was one on a road right down the street from me, and we couldn't get him out. The guy, I guess, spun out, and we couldn't get him out. And I was like, I don't know what to do, man. Like, we literally cannot help you anymore. But he was thankful because we tried. You know? Being thankful it's a very powerful thing. And I love being able to help people. Exactly. You have to start getting out of our heads. If we don't get, like, and I think that's the point I'm trying to make, Tracy, is that if we are wondering why we're in such, some people call it head trash, if we're wondering why our lives are so miserable or whatever, like just try and help other people. What you'll start to see is incrementally yours gets better because you're like, oh, well, I'm helping this person. You know, whatever it might be. It might be something that you actually are knowledgeable in. It might be something that you have no knowledge in, but can make an introduction, or just be that crying shoulder. What's that song? I'll be your crying shoulder. I'm not singing that song. It's ridiculous. So let me ask you this question. For those of you that are watching, simply in the comments, yes or no, are you thankful 90% of the time? Are you? I am. I'm going to say I'm thankful 100% of the time. Because the people who have helped you deserve to be heard that you're thankful. I mean, seriously. There are all these people that have helped you through life. Like, I remember having this conversation with my mom a few years ago. And I didn't realize how, let's see how to say this, how tough life was for her when I was growing up. She had 3 jobs. I didn't realize how little money she was making in that time. And I was always thankful. I was a stupid kid. I got in a lot of trouble. But not like super crazy trouble. Don't get your hopes up for me, people. Come on. But I remember she was telling me like how much money she was making one time. Or how much, even though she was working 3 jobs, and it was like very little money. And when she was working in, or when we grew up in Northern Virginia. And I was like, wow, you did all that work basically for your kids. Thank you. And I like to tell that story because maybe she'll listen to this later. I don't know. But like, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for mom doing that. I'm thankful for the things that my dad has done for me. Right? And other people in my family. And if you're watching this and you're like wanting to know like what's the next step that you can do, like call your parents and say thank you. Call your best friend and say thank you. Call your significant other and say thank you. Be grateful. And you'll see that reaction. And it's infectious. And I didn't realize where this talk was going to go with this. You know, oftentimes, you know me, I'm a very unscripted person. So I had like 2 words, like be thankful. Whatever the title of this is, be thankful. But you really start to think about like all the people that you need to talk to and be thankful for. And a thank you goes a long way. A long way. Even if it's broadcasted through this. Like I did 3 1004 show interviews yesterday. I believe I've thanked all of them so far. Sometimes I try to send handwritten cards to these people. Sometimes it's hard because they don't give me addresses and I have to get creative and find it. Kenya, have I ever sent you a handwritten card? Tracy, have I sent you one? I need to if I haven't. But being grateful is cheap. It's free. Being thankful is free. You just have to do it. So get that crap out of your mind and be thankful. Tracy says yeah. Kenya says yeah. In everything, give thanks. 100%. Mark says yeah. Kenya, I have. Whew. Score that one for the anomaly. Someone the other day I was talking to, and I said something along the lines of, I was talking to this person, I asked them if they could back my project or back my Kickstarter for Anomaly. And they were like, you know, I'm really not in a good position right now financially to do that. I'm between jobs, but I'm willing to share this. And honestly, you've been very helpful to me. And I said, well, thank you for saying that. I really mean that. That really means a lot. And this person said, you know, my like best friends don't help me as much as you have. I was like, wow, that's cool. And so I told him, thank you. Right. Someone the other day, I interviewed this guy, got like 100,000 followers on Twitter. And at the end of it, I thanked him and he was like, you're a great interviewer. And I was like, oh yeah, thank you. And then he says, Afterwards, he like tweets this out. I'm like, this is ridiculous. This guy is like super gracious, super thankful. And actually, let me find the exact tweet. But I was like, oh my God, like this guy is like helping me out. He got me like 30 new Twitter followers last night. I was like, this guy is amazing. And I just interviewed him. But he could tell that I was a good interviewer, which was great. I'm super excited for that. He says, greatly enjoyed being interviewed today by me, Zack Miller 84. That's what it is on Twitter, on his podcast. What a fantastic interviewer. Very impressive follow. That made me feel great. And you know what I did afterwards? I said thank you. You know how many people would get messages like that and do nothing? Most people. Be thankful. If you're wondering how to be the anomaly in a very simple and cheap way, be thankful. Be grateful. And tell someone, pick up the phone right now and tell me you're thankful. Or show up at their house and say thank you. Like, that is literally my homework for you today. Is like, if you haven't told someone thank you in a while, like, do it. Was it Shia LaBeouf? Do it. Tracy says, you've always been gracious with me. Thanks. Thank you, Tracy. All right. Well, I'm very appreciative of your time. If you guys are watching this at a later time, feel free to ask the questions in the comments. If you guys aren't subscribed to the podcast yet, I think you can do that somewhere in this piece. Simply subscribe to get notifications when we're live or new episodes are out. We are doing a weekday show called Zack Miller Live. That's what you're listening to right now. We also have a twice a week long form interview show called the 1004 Show, where I interview personalities, brands, businesses, and learn about the things that make them tick or the ways that... Actually, we really started the show because I knew that there was a lot of stories out there for people that have never been told, and I want to get those stories out. And I know that I'm doing this because literally, maybe one or two haven't, but literally every single person I interview goes, wow, you really made me think. These are questions that no one asked me. Thank you for not being scripted. And I go, well, I just care, number one. And number two is you probably want to get that story out. And I'm not going to ask the same 6 questions over and over again. So I'm very grateful for your all's time. Appreciate it. If you guys like this content today, I'll be grateful for a like, a love, a comment. Share this with your networks and your walls. And if there's a topic that you guys want me to talk about, let me know. Happy to add it to my list of topics. Until next time, I'm Zack Miller, and I am your anomaly, and this, is Zack Miller Live. I played this game Flip Deck the other day, by the way, and I wish I had one right now. Because I see my phone, and I want to like do the things that they do with their phones. Woo! But it's a handheld game. It's pretty cool. Thank you all for your time. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I think we're figuring out the time of this thing right around 2:30 every single weekday. Look, there's the logo that hasn't changed since like episode 3. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. Deuces. Peace. Let me know what you think in the comments. Talk soon. Cheers.